All right,
Man.
we're in game 3
Whoa.
of the finals. DominateDominion.com League of Legends Dominion Tournament number 24, and yeah, best of 3. We're going to game 3, guys. This is going to be Pai's Evelynn Child Support versus Feel the Vibe on Pai's Evelynn Child Support's side of the map. On the left side, on the blue team, we have inFe playing as Rengar, CaptnBuwberry playing as Ezreal, Painkillar playing as Malphite, konfetarius playing as Diana, and we have HaIfhearted playing as Brand. And I'm one half your casting duo this week. The slightly voice messed up due to concert rock, Gandair, casting with
Chobra here. We have on the red side, it is going to be Feel the Vibe, Sauron on Garen, BuddhaRice on Vayne, Armor on Nunu, I'm on Singed, Nekrogen on Maokai. And what I wanted to say, people saw me zoom in onto Vayne as BuddhaRice is spamming, I guess that was slash dance. It looked like Vayne was doing the Gangnam Style dance. Just gonna put that out there.
Oh man, I'm sure they're going to put that in the game at some point. It's going to be awesome and terrible. I'm waiting for them to play it at an MLG or something like that, so the whole crowd can just kind of start going crazy.
They played it at the StarCraft booth at MLG Rally, and the crowd went wild.
Oh, I missed that.
It was pretty funny.
Alright.
They just blasted it throughout the entire place. It was pretty funny, because I was like watching League of Legends, and suddenly everyone's like, what the heck is going on over there? And you see them just having like a dance party in the spectator section. It was pretty awesome. Well, the game has begun. Standard start once again for both teams. Nunu gonna speed up there with Vayne with that Blood Boil extra speed up. The Mystic Shot will hit, but unfortunately the Fireball from HaIfhearted will not connect with anyone just yet. Again, both teams just going for a little bit poke. Right now, we do see that Hex has an extreme advantage in terms of poke ability. I mean, HaIfhearted is across the wall. We see CaptnBuwberry putting some good Mystic Shots. If Feel the Vibe wants to do something, they need to just hard engage into the fight right now. And inFe's actually going to jump out of the brush and kite a little bit, and that's going to bring Sauron into the brush up at the top, putting on a lot of damage with that spin to win. Meanwhile, Painkillar is doing BuddhaRice. BuddhaRice was kind of left alone, but eventually will be joined by her teammates once this get. Nunu will go down immediately, but that's going to be a trade against Rengar as Garen picks up the kill there. Meanwhile, Painkillar is actually getting chased away by BuddhaRice. Can the last Silverpost will pick up the kill. Meanwhile, CaptnBuwberry also getting taken down with one more auto attack. Good dodge by BuddhaRice on that Fireball, not to get stunned by HaIfhearted. Now chasing down that Brand as he leaves Singed and Garen to pick up the windmill. Good condemn, chasing away inFe, but they went through the brush, so inFe's going to be able to jump through. Rengar is able to jump through the brushes. BuddhaRice going through the brush once again. Final jump, allowing Rengar to just catch up time and time again for that kill.
Multiple jumps in a row right there, being landed one after another. IM running back and retreating up to the top tower here to try and defend this Painkillar and CaptnBuwberry, who are pushing on it right now. And I don't know if he's going to make a dive for this or not. He's going to wait. He's going to throw down the Garrison on it. Nice move right there by IM. You see him moving out to the side. His new CaptnBuwberry was going to opt to shoot into those bushes. Tries to move out to a little bit more disruption going on, and really isn't able to do so. He gets taken out pretty quickly. But Sauron and BuddhaRice are able to get up to the top of the to the top of the windmill, but BuddhaRice is going to get caught, so try and tumble away, and isn't quite able to escape. Unfortunately, Sauron dives in there to put out a little bit of damage as well, but Feel the Vibe isn't terribly collected at the moment.
And CaptnBuwberry actually dodged the spin to win with that Arcane Shift, and Sauron was kind of like, hey, where'd my target go, and had to run right back into the thick of things. Meanwhile, Armor tries to chase inFe, but a great Unstoppable Force and a Pyroclasm, great combo coming out from Hex, stopping that chase onto Rengar. Meanwhile, IM is left alone to chase, though. inFe trying to jump in and out, is going to get out with the health restoration from that roar with the 5 stacks of ferocity. Meanwhile, HaIfhearted gets caught by Sauron and maybe IM. IM going to get the fling, gonna fling him right out of tower range. Sauron tries to get the channel, but he's going to have to dodge the ability on top of that Garrison coming out from Brand. So the windmill is still in favor of Pex for the time being, but he needs reinforcements fast. He's stuck on that super adhesive, and IM is just looking for an opportunity, trying to push down the wave as Armor shows up from the bottom side. BuddhaRice shows up from the lane. And going to zone him on Sauron, going for the kill onto Brand, does get it with that last auto tap. And then there's a great Absence and a condemn combination coming out from Feel the Vibe, securing that kill against CaptnBuwberry's Ezreal.
A lot of minions up there too to help them push that tower over in their favor. inFe and Painkillar are just going to kind of hang out. A little bit away from the point there. And we regroup just a tad, wait by their time. inFe is going to pick up this center relic in the middle of the map. And down at the bottom end of the map, konfetarius and Nekrogen, they're just kind of hanging out. Both of them are kind of okay on mana, both of them kind of okay on health. Seeing a little bit of a damage exchange here, seeing a little bit of a fight. which was more of a little bit of an exchange. They're just trading phone numbers, walking in, hey, here's my number, hey, here's your number. But that's how you talk in League of Legends, is by pressing, you know, QWER, and not terribly good at conversation. But up in the middle of the map, we have a little bit of a zoning game going on. They don't want BuddhaRice to be able to get that Storm Shield, because Vayne with Storm Shield's kind of scary. She adds a lot of extra damage. And Sauron, though, in the bushes, silencing a Malphite. And Malphite diving in a little bit. It's got that attack speed aura, but he's delivered it on to Sauron. He needs to really tag BuddhaRice's Vayne with that. inFe taking some slow there. Walking around a little bit, looking for some bushes. inFe loves bushes with Rengar.
You know, we are going to see a fight break out as Salvaforce actually only connects with Sauron on Garen. His attack speed debuff also not connected with BuddhaRice, and that's going to allow Vayne to just crush inFe as Rengar jumps onto that Vayne. Pyroclast does connect with a lot of people. inFe actually jumps right out of the brush for that assassination, gets the revenge kill, but Sauron's going to chase through and get the revenge kill in favor of Vayne. Now Armor has tagged with that dot from Brand, but going to run away and be safe for the time being. Meanwhile, HaIfhearted trying to kite away from both Garen and Singed, but it's not going to matter with that spin wing coming out from Garen. He's still chasing through with that extra armor and MR. And ChrisIM now running through, and I'm assuming that was the minions doing, because Brand just kind of melted as soon as he entered lane, and the kill credit went to Garen.
Yeah, probably was minion aggro, or something related to that, as he was able to escape. But I really like the play there with ChrisIM throwing down the adhesive to block the path, so he knew that, well, if I turn left, I'm going to get slowed and killed, so my only choice is to run straight, and kind of controlling where the enemy player goes with that adhesive. So it's a very nice game sense that ChrisIM displayed right there in the last engagement. Both teams just kind of hanging out at the moment right here, taking a look at people's abilities and things like that. And Vayne's going for the tumble first, followed by True Silver Bolt. It's only taking one rank in that Condemn. But now we have a play getting made up at the top. Painkillar getting caught strangely. Malphite being the one that they engage right there, because they could not reach CaptnBuwberry. Malphite was the only thing available to them. Painkillers. So they threw Painkillar into the mix. They got him locked down for a little bit, were able to deliver a lot of extra damage on him rather than try and ignore him and go for Buwberry in that engagement, although they are pinned up against their tower right now.
Yep, we are seeing some good poke come out from Buwberry and HaIfhearted once again. They've kept the enemies all quite low. And Armor going in for that feast onto the minion, but it's not going to do enough, as we see Buwberry putting out some damage and actually brings Armor down lower. Not sure if that consume was worth it. Salvaforce goes in once again, but it again only hits one person. BuddhaRice goes through the entire fight with her stealth, tries to dodge away from that Pyroclast, but it's going to bounce off of the minions and come right back to haunt her and take her out. HaIfhearted very, very well played there. inFe coming in alone with that stealth, tries to put out some good damage. Not letting the full combo, but HaIfhearted will help that kill onto Singed. But here comes Garen. Look at that damage going down into Rengar. So much damage being done by Sauron's Garen right now. Wanting to still chase down HaIfhearted, but they will just give up. I mean, they still hold the windmill, so Feel the Vibe is feeling pretty happy right
and
now.
Sauron using an opening build that I really, really like for AD champions, where you get your boots and you buy a bunch of long swords and you convert them into stuff. You buy 3 or 4 long swords, whatever, how many you're going to need throughout the game. I mean, you need 2 of them for a brutalizer, you need 1 of them for a phage, and then you need another one for, I forget what the other item is. You just buy all those in a row, and it gives you a nice damage boost in the the early to mid game transition. It gives you a bunch of more damage at the cost of utility effects and other stats. So you hit really, really hard for a little while, and then you start turning into other items. But you see HaIfhearted there near the center of the map getting caught, unfortunately. Sauron was able to slip away out the bottom, and CaptnBuwberry was able to slip away out through the top. The different damage dealers getting away through different avenues, and so now Sauron in the mix of things right there. Twisted Advance goes in on inFe right now, and we have all 5 players to Feel the Vibe up in the center of the map at the moment. We have an Absolute Zero goes off, but is maybe used to zone more than was for damage, force Painkillar to go up. And now konfetarius is getting taken out, and Buwberry and Painkillar are on the retreat now. Armor trying to keep up with them, but he is able to do so. Buwberry does decide to hang out in those bushes there. And Buwberry, walk in there, please. Buwberry. Oh, I wanted to see a cool sapling play, but looks like it was not going to happen. See HaIfhearted checking those bushes there with his Hextech Sweeper now, and lighting Armor up right there. Armor going to go down. Diana's returned to her lane down at the bottom. While that was all going on, Nekrogen was going to make a play for the top, but was only able to get it to half capture.
Yeah, the tower was neutralized by minions in favor of Pex. until we saw Nekrogen rush up. Look at Rengar just getting melted by Garen every time. Garen actually stayed on top of Rengar pretty much the entire duration of that stealth. This is great pyroclasm, but the enemies are so tanky, it's not going to matter. They did split up just in time for it to not bounce at one last time, and Garen trying to chase through onto Painkillar, but going to get stopped by Blueberry. Very, very good save. Meanwhile, top Rengar comes out of nowhere and picks out the kill onto Maokai, and Blueberry comes in for another kill to save his teammates and catch the windmill for Pegs.
And pays a little child support now, picking up that point at the top, but a play going on down the bottom end of the map. Nekrogen and Armor are going for konfetarius. konfetarius gets a sense of what's going on here and does not want any of it. Whoa, Lunar Rush, extended Twisted Advance combo right there. And that escape, not so much of an escape anymore, just due to the timing at which those abilities were used at, and Diana is going to go down, unfortunately, which is going to force someone to come down for a moment. See Painkillar positioning himself there. And you see Brand in the middle of the map, inFe, CaptnBuwberry in the middle of the map. You don't necessarily need to be tied to a point. A lot of times when you're playing Dominion, you'll see someone up at the top behind the mill and someone at the bottom down behind the boneyard. When you can collect your team in the middle of the map and kind of be sort of grouped up. I am trying to grab that Storm Shield, but they do not want him to have any of that. He is going to go ahead and run on out of there, using that adhesive to his advantage to slow the enemy, dropping it in the path behind him between them and the enemy. And Sauron hanging around up near the Storm Relic now. Maokai with a sapling up there for a little bit extra spare vision in that one bush, should some unfortunate traveler decide to walk into it.
Meanwhile, two-shot barrage is going to stop the cap by ChrisIM and BuddhaRice here at the windmill. That gives HaIfhearted and Blueberry just enough time, and it's actually going to be a full fight once again. inFe goes straight for BuddhaRice, but does get condemned against the wall. There's a great pyroclasm going off against the enemy teams. Once again, not able to tag BuddhaRice, so too far behind BuddhaRice, kiting Rengar successfully, taking the kill and still surviving. All four members still alive. Unstoppable Force once again missing the main target, which is Vayne. And all four members are still alive from Field of Vibe. They're being dominant in this team fight. Can HaIfhearted pick up even maybe one kill? Blueberry is going to come on to assist. inFe has come back with that revive. We are going to see Pex try to defend this windmill at all costs. Blueberry just constantly fighting against this Nunu. And Nunu should eventually go down. He's completely sandwiched between three members of the enemy team. The minion wave has been pushed back. Pex still holds onto the windmill, while konfetarius was able to capture the boneyard after taking down Nekrogen.
So inFe turning it around a little, or inFe and his team, pays him child support, turning it around a little bit down here. konfetarius going down to interrupt Nekrogen, keep that point neutral, although there are minions coming in for that. Middle of the map, inFe getting caught in a pretty bad spot, getting slowed. Painkillar coming in to disrupt things a little bit, is able to land that attack speed slow pretty good, but Rengar, one of their main sources of damage, getting taken down, is going to force Painkillar to retreat away from that point, but just getting chipped away by Vayne there, unfortunately. Just shot after shot after shot, and Vayne with that Phantom Dancer really able to get that movement speed, have that very, very good chase, and descending upon the bottom point now. HaIfhearted is down there by himself. He's hanging just outside of line of sight in the fog of war over there, so they think that the point is open, but really HaIfhearted, surprise Vayne, I'm right here, but at the same time, hi, I'm Sauron, you are HaIfhearted, I have a sword and a snowball and a poison dart launcher gun thing, and it's really, really bad. HaIfhearted gets taken down. Painkillar and inFe are going to come down from an upper point. You're going to throw down a Garrison on that tower. Armor going to take a little bit of damage from the tower. And now Sauron is in an icky spot, and things don't look so good for him.
He will eventually go down, but look at how much damage he's able to soak in. He's so tanky already, but he does so much damage, like you mentioned, starting with those long swords and then building in their respective build parts with that Brutalizer, with that Phage. Now he's looking to build a Randuin at some point with that Warden's Mill. That's going to allow him to chase down Vayne, even if she tries to kite. Meanwhile, Rengar is taking a ton of damage from Maokai, but with Malphite itself, can they get the kill? They will get the kill, but here comes Singed. Rengar using his ultimate to stealth out of there for the time being. We're going to see HaIfhearted show up alongside Blueberry. They're going to go back in for the kill onto ChrisIM. Rengar jumps in, puts down his burst, and then walks away before Singed is able to fling him into a longer duration of the Poison Trail, as he just did to Malphite. Meanwhile, Nunu gets stunned and takes a full Pillar of Flame, and there's the Pyroclasm, and it lands. It's actually perfect timing as Sauron shows up. There's some Force though, and that's going to allow Armor to put out a good duration Absolute Zero, but he's forced to run away as he's at low health. Meanwhile, Garen gets the kill onto Malphite, but CaptnBuwberry was putting out some free damage throughout that entire skirmish, so they pick up yet another kill. Pex takes the windmill once again for a 3 cap in their favor. Meanwhile, bottom, konfetarius finally gets condemned against the corner of that wall by BuddhaRice and instantly gets bursted down by Nekrogen's Maokai. We are going to see Buwberry and inFe hopefully show up here at the quarry to stop this. There's a true shot barrage that's going to enter Vayne, which is going to force her back because of her low health, and inFe showing up also is going to scare away Nekrogen's Maokai.
And in that engagement up at top a moment ago, inFe showing some very good some good play just as a player in general. You saw him as Rengar get really low on health and maneuver around and still stay active in the fight, because if you are not dead and you have mana, you are still valuable. Even if you only have 100, 200 health, as long as you can engage correctly, you can still deploy a lot of damage. And Painkillar, that's where the Painkillar survival method comes from. A lot of damage being exchanged up here at the top, though. No big play yet. Painkillar stand out a little bit away from the rest of everyone else, and Painkillar now getting separated severely there and getting taken out, and that's really going to change the dynamic of the fight up here at the top with him down. But inFe sees an opportunity to go for Vayne, and they're not going to have any of that. I think there was a condemn that went off that sent him into the wall there, and being pursued by Sauron does not help his health score any at all. CaptnBuwberry can do a lot of damage here, though. There are a lot of champions that are really low on hit points, and Buwberry can clean this up if he does it right, though that's not the right corner. That is the right corner. Actually, that's literally a right corner from that walkway. And, yeah, BuddhaRice getting it right with the corner there, and is going to take down CaptnBuwberry there, and it's going to enable Field of Vibe to pick up the windmill. You really have to avoid walls as best you can. I know there are so many walls on the Crystal Scar. Poppy and Vayne really excel on this map for that reason, and if you can oh man, there's just such a great opportunity for him there to be able to get up there and clean that up, but a very good condemn placement by BuddhaRice was able to help his team seal that deal. However, they're going to go for this. They're probably going to get the neutral because they do have minions, but it's 4v2 right now, and their target is inFe. Saw that Hextech Sweeper go off up above the battle there. It was sent off by Nunu to be able to reveal any of Rengar's plays that were going on. Hextech Sweeper is a great item to have, and now HaIfhearted getting singled out, but CaptnBuwberry just kind of standing outside, getting those shots off. That's how you need to play Ezreal in this game type. Stand back, shoot, HaIfhearted's taking some damage, and then CaptnBuwberry is going to jump away, keep that distance, keep delivering that damage. And he wasn't really able to stop the point being captured by himself because of how fragile he is, but by softening up the enemy a little bit, he's still able to help out his team. And Brand now has picked up that Rylai's Crystal Scepter that you were talking about. He's going to maybe have that kite ability now. 17 minutes into the game, though. Is that going to be enough to turn it around? We still have quite a ways to go before this is over.
Ooh, Rengar tried to use his ultimate to catch any stragglers, but the ultimate ended before he was able to jump in. That only gives him the free 5 charges on Ferocity. Meanwhile, they do catch... oh man, that fling actually put Rengar back into the brush, allowing him to jump back onto Singed and continue the chase. What a positioning game this is. BuddhaRice trying to get a condemn. The condemn will land onto Diana, but not the stun portion. Diana still goes down to the poison trail and the fling by Singed. Meanwhile, a good absence here coming out from Armor bursts down Rengar, and then Armor's going to just take a couple of auto attacks and a snowball to the face for Rengar to get that kill. Meanwhile, Buwberry now putting out some damage onto Armor on Nunu with that minion wave in his favor, but he's taking a lot of chunk damage from the Ice Ball. Here comes BuddhaRice for that chase. Just 2 hits is all it takes, 1 crit, and that's a death.
Painkillar going to get taken out. Chris I Am with the fling. Singed with a nice chase there is going to deflect that. Field of Vibe is they're in a good spot right now. They have good control of the map. Garen's in the middle. They're pushing a lane. Garen's going to have that Storm Shield in just a moment. People from Paizo and Child Sport are back at the base. Rengar's just out there kind of on his own. Brand's only just now caught up, and they're not going to be able to save that tower from going neutral. However, they get a good engagement in on BuddhaRice right there. Extra damage coming in from Ezreal from downtown, but they're really not able to seal the deal, unfortunately. BuddhaRice now in the back of the fight, still alive, trying to get some hits in, but Painkillar not able to land the airborne. He is able to land the ground slam, excuse me, and the Randuins, which really impairs BuddhaRice's attack speed for a moment. And that was good, but there was really nothing to follow that up with. Now Sauron diving into the fight using that Demacian Justice? His ultimate there to finish off Malphite, and Field of Vibe pushing very aggressively on this refinery. I think they might get it.
Yep, they are going to capture the refinery, and that's a 4 cap for Field of Vibe. They're looking really good right now. They're trying to burst down HaIfhearted, and they will get the kill. However, Rengar comes up, and inFe's going to take out BuddhaRice's Vayne. Now dueling against Armor's Nunu will get slowed by that super adhesive, but actually used his Ferocity before he was able to get his war down and not able to get that health back, now getting kited by that snowball. BuddhaRice has shown up with a lot of damage, though. Look at those crits going down onto Armor Snoop, but he's taking so much tower damage, finally is able to channel against it. Can they stop, or can they fully capture this tower before Garen shows up? He's actually going to get chased away by a full health.
I believe it takes 2 seconds between click on tower and capture begins, or interrupts rather, in the case of a neutral tower. And that 2 seconds against 4 people, not a situation you want to be in. Sauron saw that and he was just turned around and backed off.
Meanwhile, we do see HaIfhearted going to pick up that Storm Shield for Pex. Feel the vibe also gathering around the middle of the map right now. Are we going to see a play for the windmill from both teams? Rengar is kind of roaming about the bottom portion. Meanwhile, they did spot, Nunu did spot Painkillar walking back and forth here. So Tribrush area, as we see Ezreal making a play for the windmill. BuddhaRice shows himself as ChrisIam shows up for the zoning and the cutoff, putting down the poison trail against the entire enemy team and the adhesive. And there's a great Pyroclasm bouncing back and forth between Vayne and Nunu, but no one to follow that damage with. BuddhaRice already been zoned so far that he's not able to damage anybody. He's only able to put down the 2-shot barrage. Now he's trying to kite ChrisIam, but that allows ChrisIam to put down the super adhesive right below his feet, and BuddhaRice now forced to run away as BuddhaRice shows up. There's the exhaust on BuddhaRice for a short time being. BuddhaRice now dealing with that Malphite and now jumping onto that Ezreal for another double kill, and we'll feel the vibe get another 4 cap. That should secure the game. They are going to get the neutralized despite Malphite's attempts to stop them. There's the shutdown by Ezreal onto Vayne though, and a double kill this time around for BuddhaRice. They need to rush towards the windmill right now. Pex needs to make a play as Rengar catches Singed on the retreat. 3 people heading for the windmill. They have the damage buff. Can they capture this and secure it for a long enough time for them to gain momentum? Right now at the bottom, konfetarius is trapped between Sauron and Armor and is forced to run before that Damascene Justice comes down and takes out the kill. Still a 4 cap for Resecond and then a 3 cap for Pex, but they have a long ways to go.
They can still win it. That's one thing to note. You are never out in Dominion. I saw there was a game back, DominateDominion number 2, where Painkillar and Child Support won with 2 Nexus health against Point Defense back some number of weeks ago, back 22 weeks ago. So 33 Nexus health, they can keep this. You know, they can roll for a while. They can make only minor mistakes, however, because if the enemy keeps the other tower for any length of time, it's going to go really bad for them.
We are going to see Feel the Vibe making a play for the windmill, and they are there first. There's a 2-shot barrage that's going to hit 2 people. Armor still getting some good channel onto their forces. Garrison out of Hex. Finally, a great unstoppable force landing down onto BuddhaRice along with that Pyroclasm. The fling is actually going to bring HaIfhearted to safety. Malphite almost gets his kill, but Rengar comes in from behind, takes out Vayne at that very last second. This is looking really good for Pex. They take out Armor as he was trying to zone BuddhaRice. HaIfhearted is still getting flung back and forth, but it doesn't matter. They've caught Singe. They've wiped out everyone else. That's another kill for Pex. It's a 3-4-0 trade. Actually, I think it's 4 because Sauron just used his Revive to now rush towards the bottom. Of course, alone he can't do anything top, but maybe he can do something bottom here with Nekrogen's Maokai. They're going to go straight for the tower. They saw that konfetarius went back to base, and that's going to draw the attention of not only konfetarius but also inFe. Can they stop the neutralize? No, the neutralize is going to land by Garen and Maokai, and they start a fight, and this is not a fight for konfetarius or inFe. The enemies are 2 great bruisers right now. They're only kind of squishy assassins. There's the Massive Justice, but here goes BuddhaRice, who's able to jump through the enemy tanky figures, but BuddhaRice does get caught. No, konfetarius comes back with that Lunar Rush after that revive. They're going to get the kill. Someone needs to capture the quarry, though, as the top is being pressured up as the windmill. They need to even out. There's a great Garrison from over the wall by HaIfhearted, but Vayne is still channeling. No, they're going to stop the channel, and despite the minions, the Garrison's going to heal the tower back up just ever so slightly. He needs to stop Armor right now and take the minions out. No, the minions will get neutralized. The windmill has been neutralized right now. Clock is stopped. Meanwhile, Painkillar getting zoned away actually by BuddhaRice himself, but here comes HaIfhearted and BuddhaRice. They will be able to pick up the kill, and Pex looking to recapture the windmill to hold on.
That Hextech Sweeper revealing Vayne up there. Very good use of that. It's a great item to have handy. HaIfhearted gets one, I think, every game. And ChrisIam going for konfetarius down here. konfetarius sees that he could feasibly take out ChrisIam, but now Nekrogen there to deliver the Twisted Advance and help block him down. inFe's going to have to pop that ultimate. You see him running for it. He's going for ChrisIam, and he's able to connect and is able to cut him down to size. However, Nekrogen, it looks like he is going to get the kill off on konfetarius. And now Sauron down there. Sauron, Nekrogen, the Batman and Robin of Dominion in the bottom lane. shutting that down. Now they're going for the capture right here, but HaIfhearted is there. And can HaIfhearted do it? Is he going to be able to keep Sauron away from this point? Clock stop, 33 to 80, 2 points to 2 points.
Sauron just milling about next to this brand. And Garen is getting kited quite a bit though, taking a lot of damage. It's going to be forced to retreat at some point, but right now all Garen wants to do is stall. Maybe if they can capture the windmill, it's going to be a 3-cap in their favor. Right now the clock is stopped at 2-2, so if that stays neutral, it's in favor of Field of Vibe because they haven't pressured the top, but they did just get wiped. Both Armor and BuddhaRice getting taken out, and now it's just Chris alone, but now Chris also in danger as Rengar jumps in from the side with his ultimate, takes him out, and they finally capture the quarry once again in favor of Pex. Pex holding on to this 3-cap very diligently.
Alright, and a little bit of a frame rate dip for any future VOD viewers that are watching right now around that area of the game, but it seems to have smoothed out now. Nekrogen hanging out in those bottom bushes there, pays Evelynn Child Support still tentatively in a good position. Painkillar over there. Painkillar finds Sauron, or does Sauron find Painkillar? You guys tell me. And Armor diving straight into that, but Hextech Sweeper goes off to reveal his bushes for a moment. inFe taking a little bit of a snowball right there, and both teams, one on either side, they're both looking for an engagement. It's going to be one guy that gets out in a bad spot, and things are going to go very awry once that one person gets caught. But the question is, who is it going to be? What's going to cause this engagement to happen? Field of Vibe has wedged in there, and Nunu's gone top, and that's forced the enemy team to break up. Evelynn Child Support has to split apart in order to deal with Nunu. Nunu throws down an absolute zero, but there's really no one for it to connect with, unfortunately. CaptnBuwberry doing a lot of damage to Chris I am up there, but he's going Arcane Shift over the wall, and a couple members of Field of Vibe had circled back around the other way to deal with Painkillar, which brought them away from the tower. Garrison gets thrown down preemptively, knowing those minions were going to come up to that point. Ezreal is able to take down Singed. However, Sauron and BuddhaRice are still alive, and they are the problems. Is HaIfhearted going to be able to be the solution to this game? Can he take down BuddhaRice and get that point?
Man, Field of Vibe finally gets their 3-cap back, but konfetarius is left alone here at the Boneyard. Definitely going to get at least a neutralize, if not the capture. Diligently channeling onto this tower, the minions trying to stop it, but it's not going to be enough. Minion finally dies. Can Garen get here in time? konfetarius, the minions are here, though they will be able to finish it regardless. That's a capture for Pex, still holding on to that 3-cap nonetheless, and konfetarius being quite durable with that shield, as I talked about before, using that Crescent Strike to just clear out the minion waves and just keep this for as long as possible. Actually going to kill Sauron before Garen is able to put out any more damage. konfetarius should eventually... No, there's the shield once again and gets a double kill all alone. Diana doing work here at the Boneyard, stalling Maokai, and Pex once again captures the windmill. A sudden 4-cap in favor of Pex. If Field of Vibe is not able to neutralize the tower right now, they're in deep trouble. The clock is ticking down. They haven't reached the tower just yet. Vayne finally gets to the quarry, but it's not going to be enough. And
konfetarius is saving the game. It takes 4 blocks on your memory card, but you don't care. Pays Evelynn Child Support is going to be the victors in a very close turnaround here in Game 3 of the finals.